in terms of the best double fighters you can get, I think they're all pretty much gone. Other than the Uranus also gone, Lapu gone. They just took
Wow.
out picks from one another. It's gonna be a trade for you mentioned the Arlot, Phovius might be the ones that they're gonna go into, unless we're gonna go into the more unique territory here of seeing something along the lines of a Cho Gold. Oh, there's one.
The glue,
Oh,
that's the
okay, that's
glue,
good.
yep,
That's good.
that's one.
Yeah.
And also sort of like locks the Phobius out unless you want to like suffer in the
Mm.
lane, which I do like, right? When you go down the pool of the XP, which we don't see often. This is where the glue gets picked up. We see Phobius now and then. The Arlet is still there for
Mm.
ONIC if they do want to go down that route. If not, I don't know, like the X-Borg, but man, X-Borg
Oh
XP
yeah.
it's quite old news, right? It's been so long
Yeah.
since X-Borg was put in the XP lane.
Yeah, some unique options of the EXP could be a Cho or a Terizla. The Cho just clears lane, rotates, but then you're gonna have two not really known as frontline holds, but hey, there is the Cho, so they are actually gonna go for the Cho EXP lane, but very risky in this scenario. They don't really have a hard front line. They have two main frontliners who are just looking to annoy the formation of Evos, while Evos can play a tight box around their Kimmy, of course, fueled by the glue and the Grok. How do you feel about this Harith pick, though? I'm kind of 50-50 on it.
Yeah, I'm also a bit 50-50 on it. We get the Harry Granger matchup, so the classic one. This should be a Purify for Erlan. In fact, they have to deal with both Dusit and Show.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, knowing Kelra, this is just him being confident, right? It's gonna be mechanically intensive for Kelra to really navigate around what Evos has brought to the table, but we've seen him in tighter situations. So, you know, a bit of individual flair does go a long way. It gets me pretty excited because we are going down the list of the meta. This feels like something we probably would see back in season 15 at the start of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still relevant now.
Yeah, it's not going to be an EXP Cho. It's actually going to be EXP Hilda. Brusco ends up picking up the Cho for the Rome. And mechanically intensive for Keller, I feel like, is as great as it is, it's even more of an understatement. I think majority of the time that we see Harrods going up against a glue, they struggle because of what glue can bring down to the floor of every team fight. Even though that's just like one little glue thing that you gotta avoid, it's still something that you really don't want to step into, and it just adds a little bit more layers of complexity for an already complex to use gold laner. So you say mechanically intensive. I say Keller needs to be godlike with his performance on this Harith, considering there's not a lot of protection for him. And maybe that's why they leaned on the idea of having a gold laner that is a little bit someone independent, because once you have the Zaman Force, that is your best friend. Well, if they ended up going for the Granger in this Granger Harith trade, Granger's gonna be sad. Like, where's all my help? I only have a Juice in here who's already struggling. Where's my Hilda? Where's my Cho? Oh wait, they can't help me as much as I'd want them to help me, which is why the lineup right now looks like it's favoring Evos as we enter game number 3. If you're looking at Onyx right now, what could be their main win condition to maybe run away from this early or run away with it early on?
I think whenever you have a YSS, I feel like the YSS is going to be always like the focal point, right? The further he gets ahead, the better it is. Oh, first blood already! Brusco and Kirk with the invade. Albert ends up going down. He did secure his purple buff, so at least he'll hit that level 2. But at the end of the day, that is going to allow King Kong to go straight for the Beetle, steal it away. And there's only so much that Evos can do to minimize the damage. Key holds the Golem, but damage is done. King Kong walks away with some extra experience.
Yeah, that's one way to start this off and make sure this Cho and Hilda will work together. Kurt cut behind the first turret. Then after that, went on to help out Brusco, who did his job as a Cho, as Key and Sway Low realized, wait, this is not a good situation. We're here trying to clear mid lane, but Albert's in trouble. Kirk shows up, finishes off the kill. Then now Kirk even cut the lane behind the second turret of Evos in the EXP lane, which means that he can spend a little bit more time in the river trying to get more info.
It makes it a bit tough for Randy too, because Hilda as a pick, not only does she have insane damage and these rotation powers, but also she avoids any sort of interaction, right? Like Glue forces you to interact with him, Phobia's the same as well, but Hilda ignores all of that. And that's the power of this hero. Albert not level 4, so no Shadow Q. I think I think King Kong stole that camp away, so Albert still is not going to have his ultimate.
My goodness, the pressure applied by Onyx. This is how to make it work. Look outside of the team fights and look at what you do in the map. Non-stop disruption by this Hilda and Brusco. Hilda and Joe, look at Kirk just run towards Albert.
There is the shadow kill, and did Albert get the buff? Oh, Suelo got the buff. They still lost Key, but that's a free turtle for Onyx Philippines. We're looking at the close to 1,000 gold lead for Onyx.
That's a starving Hayabusa. No retribution yet during that sequence. Still good news for Evos that they were able to get it, but Brusco in trouble. But no, not going to be able to cap it off there for Evos. Brusco and Kirk have been stellar in this game with the pressure that they've been applying, and equally so, Super Friends. Seeing the Cho and the Hilda being aggressive together means he can even be aggressive, and he doesn't have to worry about the Hayabusa at all. One of the reasons why we feared for the Onyx PH lineup is because picking up the Jushin, then seeing a Grok and a Hayabusa right after that, it usually doesn't go well for most Jushins. But Onyx have adjusted very well.
Yeah, and especially when there's a Kimmy on the other side too, right? Like one wrong move in the early game, and you would not only lose control of the lane, but completely lose control of the sort of the early game too. So at least for now, I think Evos able to cut the losses the best they can. Randy also having that ultimate, and with these key skills available, Evos should be able to hold back Onyx Philippines in these key moments. Although King Kong is a full level ahead, and Key is also, and Brusco is also a full level ahead of his Roma counterpart.
Yeah. So for Onyx can just continue playing this game of disrupting the jungle of Albert. Even more so now, the lane gets frozen by Onyx Philippines. He and Suelo cannot move as forward as they would want to. Although the Onyx Philippines wave will be crashing in, and you see the instant adjustment by Key and Suelo. They are playing well behind their version or their side of the river just to make sure that Albert's going to be safe. He knows where Brusco is, but instead of taking control, it's Evos trying to play on the defense. Good for Onyx.
Yeah, and this is Flying Clouds too, so you can get back into lane faster. They commit a lot on Super Friends, so Crimson Beacon gets forced out. But he still does have the Flicker. Monster Mage can still have ways to keep himself safe. Evos will be the ones to work on the turtle first, as Randy tries to hold back Kirk, but he's already past the front lines, and now Brusco finds the kick. Albert needs to pick a lane, does get the turtle and get out. King Kong zone away by Key as Brusco gets lashed on by Randy. He's gonna just Jit Kundo his way to safety. Get a two-man bubble from Suelo. Good disengage from Evos. Kelra joins the fight. Albert in danger. The execution comes true from Erlan, and it will be a 1-for-1 trade.
Okay, great answer there by Evos, actually. Beautiful kick by Brusco to start things off to make sure that Albert forces out the shadow already. But Key playing his role perfectly, able to use his tectonic charge to buy time for Albert to escape safely. Eventually, before we see him did get taken down there near the end of the fight, Erlan takes a lot there from Kelra, forced to go back. And Onyx Philippines, though still in control, Evos, well, they are biting back and they're showing that they can still fight this through despite the very difficult early game that Albert had. Kelra!
And Kelra, this is going to be dangerous. Erlan so close to Sky Piercer. The Beetle blocks the final shot. Kelra actually gets out because of that. He might have to pay the price. Brusco with the kick and Super Frizz with the lantern does the job. And such an unfortunate circumstances there for Evos.
Beetle MVP, or the Crab MVP. I never would have expected that. But saved by the Gold Crab is Kelra. Really, really close there for Erlan to commit the kill there. And Kelra caught overextending a little bit. I'm not sure if he expected Key to still be there, or he knew. He just decided to really play into it. Knew that there was a chance that he could really get away. And I think he was thinking about that Crab. It's like, okay, this is going to be my main defense duo. And whether or not that was premeditated, I'm guessing he probably told Super Friends and Brusco beforehand, hey, look at me. Once you guys are done there, join me here. But if not, that's an excellent reaction by Super Friends and Brusco.
Yeah, and that was the first item, Sky Piercer for Erlan. He went Fury Hammer, Sky Piercer, and he did have 10 stacks already from the early turtle fight. So if Kelra went down, that would have been a 20th stack, and that would accelerate Erlan's power spike. Not the case, thankfully. So Onyx are looking at almost a 2.3k gold lead. They do spot out Kirk, rooting down with the bubble. The YSS will unleash the Mountain Shocker. They get a quick glimpse of where Albert is at. His purple buff up in 10. But now he has to make a decision because Kirk is putting pressure onto Albert. They full send it. Here comes the Tectonic Charge, point blank on the King Kong, but Kara still gets the turtle. King Kong gets lashed on by Randy as Super Prince keeps holding Evos back. Randy in no man's land, and King Kong should be fine. Brings him underneath the tier 1 turret, and Randy is straight up in the wrong side of the globe.
Oh, but he gets to flicker out and he'll be able to get away without a problem, although it did get quite hairy there. You see the commitments of the Zaman Force and the Crimson Beacon coming in from Kelra and Super Prince respectively. Now Evos though still showing that despite the slowly growing lead, look at the damage from this Hilda.
Kirk just, the axe made of titanium just cuts right through the Grok. Even gets Erlan's flicker out. Shadow Kill also used by Albert as they use the Mountain Shocker again. King Kong would take the litho. I feel like they can go into the jungle if they want to. Brusco once more deep inside Evos' territory.
Yep, still applying the pressure of this Hayabusa. Although he has had some highlights already here, it's been a very difficult game for Albert. Onyx knew that they needed to do this. They needed to be aggressive and find control before it could even get, well, even. And they have not let go since. Little by little, though, you're seeing Evos finding cracks in the armor of Onyx Philippines. Question is, will it get to the point where they can actually completely turn the game around? Or will Onyx just be able to find another win to extend the lead potentially to 6,000, putting them comfortably in total control territory?
It's in the hands of Erlan for sure. Over with the War Axe done. I mean, Randy has been getting some pretty good ults as well. He's slashing onto the important targets, but Evos just couldn't really follow up because of the peel that Onyx has. With Kirk, Brusco, and even Prince just holding the Lantern Flare over their heads. That would be a constant problem that Evos have to tussle with as Lord now spawns on the top quadrant.
Sad sword build up there by King Kong. It's going to be an insane damage spike that Evos is going to feel, and little by little, I'm starting to feel a little bit more towards Onyx Philippines really just taking control of this. Kirk still man-marking Albert all throughout the map. Now, unless Evos can get an initial pick off, well, they might find it.
They get Kirk's flicker out. That's step number 1. At least he can't just threaten the back line, but a flicker kick on to Randy. Good response from Key, and that's King Kong dead. Albert with the shadow kill finds himself Brusco. Kara now will have to play to the max, but Suelo survives. And that's the opening that Evos have been looking for.
Massive miscalculation, though the kick was beautiful. The follow-up was even more so. Erlan gets the last hit on the Lord, and just like that, Evos in control.
Again, Grok, time and time again, has proven to be an absolute impact hero. And Key plus Suelo tectonic charge into a fraction post. It really wasn't any way out. King Kong just got erased from that fight. After, I mean, considering the lead that Onyx had prior to losing that fight, King Kong, he had a clean slate, right? No kills, no deaths. Kirk didn't have his flicker because he used it, so he eats everything from Evos, and that's a guaranteed kill. Erlan cashing in on his second Sky Piercer stack. Brusco and King Kong finds Albert, but Erlan is here. They root up his target, and Erlan is just firing away. Brusco on the run, forced to use to conceal, and he gets out, but Evos, they're starting to really step on the gas.
Things have gone from good to absolutely terrible for Onyx Philippines as another counter from Evos spots out 3 members, takes them down, and with the Lord marching in, this is going to be a devastating push for the White Tigers. The Porcupines now trying to find a turnaround, but they are now feeling the reason as to why they needed to take control of it right away. Brusco giving away a kill. He just wanted to get vision, that he gets punished for it.
And this is horrible news. The Titanic charge hits on the edge. Kaura barely gets out. Had to use the Purify and the Zaman Force too. And Erlan just picked up a Sea Halberd. He is halfway through his Sky Piercer stack. So that is already the critical point. That is where these executions are going to come through very easily, especially against squishier targets like King Kong, Kelra, and even Brusco gets deleted in these fights. I mean, remember, look at how fast this game turned around. It's just one bad fight, and it felt like everything that ONIC did till this point stopped mattering.
Yeah, it feels like as if Onyx didn't even have the lead for a good amount of this game because of all the towers that have been taken down by Evos after the 2 big wins that they found, and they might find another one here.
He was gonna stay very patiently, even though Key has all the tools he needs to force something. But no minion wave means that they want to take that risk. They've seen what it can lead to.
Onyx PH, how are they gonna make a comeback? Because again, this is the exact reason why Onyx played the way they did to start things off, to try and slow down Albert, to really take control of majority of the game. Because when things are even, it's not good for Onyx Philippines. We talked about the Evos lineup, what they can do, the stats, the lineup ratings favored them. This is the exact scenario that Onyx didn't want to end up in, and but now here they are. How do they make a comeback? Maybe through sheer will of Kirk and Brusco trying to find the right kick onto main target Erlan, who does not have a Purify with him. But then if you jump on one member of Evos, high chance that Key is nearby with a Tectonic Charge ready to follow up and delay your attempt. Gonna be a big sandwich split though for Onyx here.
It'll be late to contest the Lord, and Kirk, he's already committed everything. And unfortunately has to flicker away. Tectonic Charge as a response, and that's good enough. Another execution, that's the 50th stack for Erlan. He needs three more kills to get to the max, and Evos have the tools to deliver it onto him. Randy sticks on the Super Frizz, gonna drag him back into the hands of Evos. That's 6 kills for Erlan right now. He is out of control, and Onyx Philippines have completely lost the plot in this game. There's really nothing much they could do, and the second Lord is gonna cause some serious damage to the base.
Granger, one of the picks that Erlan definitely shined with in MPL Indonesia Season 16, not just in the playoffs, but all season long. Really knows the range and the timing of this hero perfectly, and he's showing it off with a 6-0-1 performance. With the Lord marching down bot, we might be heading into game number 4 with a 2-1 lead for Evos in this best of 5 as it has completely slipped out of the hands of Onyx. How will they make a comeback? Let's see if Evos can end it.
Oh my goodness, I think they have already set that into motion. What a traction pulse into a shadow kill. Super Frizz straight up removed. 30 seconds without the Monster Mage. Evos can do some considerable damage. Even consider ending the game. Key again. Point. Just a single target. Tectonic Charge. Kara getting just sliced to ribbons. Evos would power through Onyx Philippines. And all it took was one bad fight